Breaking right now, shock new revelations in a major book about the royal family claim that Meghan Markle wanted to finish what Princess Diana started.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love royal drama, Hollywood secrets, and deep dives into celebrity power moves, you're in the right place. Today, we're exposing something massive.
But on a part-time basis. So this is a fascinating revelation from a former member of staff to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex during their time within the royal family. This servant spoke anonymously to Yes Mum, The Secret Life of Royal Servants by Tom Quinn, which is this bombshell new book out later this month, described as an insight into what it's really like within the royal family. So let me take you through what this courtier told the author Tom Quinn of Meghan Markle. She once said, "What Diana started, I want to finish." And we took that to mean she wanted to become a sort of globe-trotting champion of the poor and the marginalized. Now, they prefaced that she didn't mean it in a critical way, but the insider added that Meghan had wanted to follow in the footsteps of her late mother-in-law, Diana, who was obviously known for her extensive humanitarian and charity work. But the Duchess's ambitions were apparently only a part-time commitment. So this is what the servant said. She has managed to do this to some extent, but she really wanted to do it as a princess and with the full backing of the royal family, but on a part-time basis. Brittany from the Royal News Network joins me now.
Meghan Markle's secret plan to control Hollywood and the royal family. Is it all a coincidence, or has Meghan been playing a long game this whole time? We've got shocking details, insider info, and receipts you won't believe. Stay till the end because the truth about Meghan's power moves is more shocking than you think. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. Now let's get into it. Meghan always had big dreams. Before she met Prince Harry, she wasn't exactly an A-lister. Suits gave her some recognition, but let's be real, it wasn't a career-defining role.
This book is really interesting because, of course, the so-called servants, I don't like calling them servants, Brittany, courtiers who work within the royal family, get the most extraordinary access, but as we know, are unable to speak out publicly or on the record because of the Official Secrets Act, which is effectively like a cast iron NDA, which means effectively you will never be able to publicly share or profit off the secrets from your time within the royal family. When it comes to Meghan Markle, though, that means a lot of bad behavior has been covered up, and the so-called Sussex Survivors Club, the poor courtiers who had to deal with all of her bullying over such a long period of time, really do want this information to be public. But what I found so interesting about this particular revelation from Yes Mom is it links to this idea that Meghan was obsessed with a concept of being a modern day Princess Diana. She loved that concept, but actually she didn't understand, Brittany, that number one was impossible because of the love and affection that we had for Princess Diana, given she entered the royal family as a virgin at 19 years of age, but also that it took Diana full-time work for years and years and years to get to that position.
Exactly. When you look at Princess Diana, she worked so incredibly hard. She had worked really, really hard. She took a lot of risks, and she decided to basically slowly change how royals worked, how royals operated. She had very much that common touch, very empathetic, and I think people really gravitated towards that. And Meghan Markle, I think, just walked in there and expected, number one, to be treated like Diana in terms of being as loved as she is. She wanted that immediately without having to work for it. And then you see Meghan as well, and she just wanted to do this part-time. I don't think this was ever a true passion for her. She just loved the idea, like you said, the concept. She didn't really actually want to put any work into this. She didn't really want to make it happen in the way that it naturally would. She just sort of was like, well, I'll just be a princess and everything will work out and it'll be great. And I think as well, when it comes to Meghan, I don't think the empathy Diana does. And so because of that, I don't think Meghan could fundamentally even do the things Diana did because she does not have that common touch, that ability to connect with people really well. I think Meghan completely lacks because she's too self-obsessed to do anything else.
But what if Meghan's entire plan was to use Hollywood as a stepping stone to something much bigger? We're talking elite status, global influence, and connections that go beyond the red carpet. Insiders say Meghan was always strategic, networking with powerful figures, pushing for roles that could elevate her brand, and carefully curating her public image. But here's where it gets interesting. Her ties to Hollywood didn't fade when she left acting. In fact, they became stronger.
And then at the end of the day, I always come back to the idea of if you're trying to recreate and mimic the legacy of somebody else, you will probably fail because you're not creating your own legacy. You're trying to actually grab onto a legacy that has already been successful. And so you are just really riding on the coattails of somebody else's achievements rather than trying to do your own. And I think that was a critical failure of Meghan's. I feel like Catherine and William are not trying to recreate the legacy of Diana. They're trying to forge their own. And that's what every royal should do. If Meghan was coming into the family trying to be sort of the reincarnation, the completion of Diana's, vision or whatever, I think that was obviously going to be doomed to failure from the beginning because she's not Diana. And that is just a totally inaccurate premise to go about from the very beginning. So of course, that wasn't going to go anywhere. Of course, it was going to lead to failure, and that's exactly what happened.
She once said, "What Diana started, I want to finish." But we took that to mean she wanted to be seen as a global humanitarian, while keeping the royal title, the royal perks, and the media attention that came with it. And it doesn't stop there. According to a Daily Mail report, former royal aide Jason North has doubled down on his allegations that Meghan bullied palace staff, with claims that she demanded special treatment and ignored royal protocols. North, who previously worked closely with Prince William and Prince Harry, has stated he has no regrets about exposing the Duchess's behavior. If true, this raises serious questions. Was Meghan Markle ever truly interested in public service, or was she simply positioning herself for a lucrative post-royal career?
Well, she's cosplaying Princess Diana, isn't she? And she's also being incredibly manipulative with Prince Harry when it comes to his mother, claiming that his mother's talking to her, claiming that his mother is telling her what she should be doing. Very, very emotionally manipulative, I would argue. However, what I find just so arrogant was the idea that Meghan believed that she could do all of that, be Princess Diana, while making money. Remember, even during her time in the royal family, Brittany, she had her team in Hollywood. I was the first one to reveal this, her team in Hollywood, negotiating deals. Remember, Harry was pimping her out to the chief executive of Disney at a film premiere, trying to get her to voice over a film and be paid for it. Now, look, Diana had her faults. Of course, I'm not going to disagree with that. Personally, I adored her. So I find it hard to lean into her faults, but I'm not saying she didn't have her faults. However, Brittany, nothing she ever did was about the money. And look, all of these decades later, and you can immediately link Princess Diana to a whole load of important causes. Landmines, the scourge of eating disorders like bulimia, the acceptance that you could actually touch people who were suffering from HIV or AIDS, homelessness, which Prince William is beautifully carrying on. I don't believe that there is one cause I can link to Meghan Markle.
Her connections with power players like Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Hollywood elites weren't by chance. Was this part of a bigger strategy? Now let's talk about Meghan's whirlwind royal romance. Prince Harry fell fast, but was it love or was it part of a plan? Think about it. Marrying into the royal family instantly made Meghan a global figure. She went from a supporting actress to a duchess with international media coverage. But here's the twist.
No, she's just constantly jumping from thing to thing to thing. And we see this reflected in her lack of vision even for As Ever or American Riviera Orchard or whatever it's going to end up being, because I'm sure we're going to get a third name or fourth name here at some point. She has no overarching vision because I think Meghan is solely motivated by greed. I think she married Harry, realized all of a sudden very quickly that she married a millionaire, not a billionaire like she thought, that he didn't have that much money, that she was stuck in Nottingham Cottage. And she's like, how dare I not be in the biggest place in the palace, comparing herself to Catherine and William. And so she convinced him to leave because, oh, we're doing what Diana did. And remember, Diana, she was going to go and live in the States or something at some point. And so she sort of convinced him of this under the guise, I think, of utilizing the memory of his mother, which is just a horrific thing to do. When in reality, she just realized I can't live off, 2 or 3 million pounds a year. That was too little for her, what they would get from like the Duchy of Cornwall or whatever Harry's inheritances. She's like, that's too little for me to live on. I need more Justin Clone necklaces from Cartier. So we're going to have to work to the bone, Harry. We're going to have to go out and get as many deals as possible and make things happen, because to her, marrying into the royal family, marrying him was all about how that could help her achieve her goals in terms of Hollywood fame and fortune, of course. She was always after the money, the power, whatever, but she did not have a love for the common man. And I truly believe Diana had a love and really wanted to connect with people in all stations of life. And Meghan Markle has none of that. So in that way, the two women could not be more different.
Instead of embracing royal duties, Meghan and Harry made a dramatic exit. Some say they were pushed out, but others believe this was Meghan's plan all along. Leaving the royal family meant freedom, no more palace rules, no more restrictions. And suddenly, Meghan and Harry were signing multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix, Spotify, and book publishers. Let me know in the comments. Here's where things get really interesting.
You're so right, Brittany. And can I just remind everyone, there were no horror stories about Diana's treatment of staff. If anything, the only thing that people said about Princess Diana is that she became too close to her staff. Look at her very close friendship, for example, with Paul Burrell. She wanted to hang out downstairs. She wanted to hang out in the kitchen. Yet with Meghan Markle, what have we heard? She was a bully to her staff. She treated them like the mud on her shoe. Even Catherine had to step in and say, hey, that's not how we do things. So I think so many differences, and I don't believe there's any chance that the public will ever view Meghan Markle as some sort of reincarnation of Princess Diana. Now, Brittany, I want to speak about Catherine, the Princess of Wales, because there has been an increasing focus over the past couple of weeks about Catherine's appearance and her clothing. This was after a botched article by the royal editor of the Sunday Times, Roy Anika, which seemed to suggest that Catherine had herself told the journalist that she wanted people to focus on her causes rather than what she was wearing. It prompted a rare correction from the communications secretary at Kensington Palace, who clarified that it was him who had made that comment, not Catherine, and that there wasn't going to be any sort of formalized change in terms of the briefing of what she was wearing. But this has been taken on in quite an egregious manner by the Daily Mail on their Palace Confidential show. And it was Prince William's Jaw on X who actually brought this to my attention. They posted, Charlotte Griffiths refers to Princess Catherine as the dress-up beautiful Princess Dolly, who only dresses in brown now. The deliberate, nasty slander is overwhelming, and we wonder why Catherine is dressing down and why Kensington Palace stated an end to announcing Catherine's clothing. I am really sick and tired of people trying to score personal points on the back of Catherine and William. So, Brittany, let me show you. I went and dug out exactly what that tweet or that post on X was in reference to. Let's watch it now, and then I'll get your response off the back.
There's a pattern here, Richard. I slightly disagree with you, because first of all, she's only wearing brown for some reason, and then she's saying she's not going to tell people about what she's wearing. Then she's declining opportunities to dress up in her glittery, show-stopping fairy tale princess outfit.
Which she won't thank me for saying, but I'm very disappointed by.
Yeah, but it is a departure, because that's kind of what she was for a while, the dress-up, beautiful Princess Dolly that we, saw at BAFTA. Well, and she's obviously moving away from that.
I don't know if I'd call it a dolly. I think that's probably exactly why she's not telling us anymore, because some people say, oh, she's just the dolly bird. But it's part of the package, isn't it?
But that's the thing. She doesn't want to be known as the dolly bird. Yeah. She doesn't want to be dressed up or tell people what she's wearing. She's wearing dark colours and doing dark themed events. I mean, these are dark subjects she's tackling at the moment. I think we could be seeing a very different era for her.
After stepping back from royal life, Meghan didn't just disappear, she rebranded herself. She positioned herself as a social activist and media mogul. And guess who was supporting her? Hollywood's most influential power players. Oprah gave Meghan a global platform. Netflix and Spotify put her in direct competition with major Hollywood figures. They helped her secure high-profile events and speaking gigs, and now, Meghan is rumored to be negotiating with Hollywood executives, calling her a serious player. Was this all part of her ultimate plan? Here's the big question. What is Meghan's endgame? Some insiders say she's positioning herself for a major Hollywood comeback. Others believe she's building an empire that goes beyond entertainment. A new kind of Hollywood royalty? The possibilities are endless. One thing is clear, Meghan Markle is making calculated moves. But is she really pulling the strings, or is she just another player in a bigger game? Drop your thoughts in the comments. No matter where you stand, one thing is undeniable. Meghan Markle is playing the game at the highest level. Love her or hate her, she's making power moves that could change Hollywood and the royal family forever. What do you think? Is Meghan secretly orchestrating her rise to power? Or is she just taking advantage of opportunities as they come? Let me know in the comments. And before you go, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another deep dive like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.